something that came out of GDC, which was sort of a weirdly one of those just you said the quiet part loud kind of things. Doug Rosen, who is the senior vice president for games and emerging media at Paramount Global, announced that they are making a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin game. Now, if you're unfamiliar, this is a hit graphic novel by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, the original creators of Ninja Turtles, the old comic, and it's pretty good. It's very much the Dark Knight Returns with Turtles, which checks out because the early Turtles, like Frank Miller's Daredevil had like the hand, and they had the Foot Clan, like it was very like ninjas in New York, crazy, isn't it? And then that's what that was. In this case, it feels like kind of a mashup of Frank Miller's Ronin and the Dark Knight Returns, but with Turtles. And I think it's really well suited to being a video game. They name-checked God of War specifically, saying that like they want it to be like a serious narrative, not a cash-in type of thing. They want it to be like a very good narrative-driven video game, and I think it fixes it works really well because one thing that happens here, and this is I feel like very mild spoiler, there's only one turtle.
Which turtle is the one turtle?
So it's revealed at the end of the first issue, and it was a surprise going into the release. But if anybody wants to go in totally cold, I won't say here. I will say that this turtle wields all of the weapons of the turtles, of his brothers. So that's like, I feel like in itself a really good video gamey situation. If you're making a single player thing, it's the same weird inverse problem of like Gotham Knights, where like you're making a 4-player Batman game. Everybody wants to be Batman. In Ninja Turtles, you don't know which turtle you want to pick, and it's kind of, there's an inherent teamwork there. But if you get rid of 3 of them and have the other one kind of carrying their legacy and using their weapons, then it's kind of like, well, what color skill tree do you want to pump points into?
Yeah,
you want to work on your bow staff or your size or your nunchucks or what?
You can do this. You can do the kind of rock paper scissors mechanics of having quick weapon swaps to like the D-pad, and like, oh, these enemies are weak to a staff. These enemies are more weak to a sword. That type of element can go into it, which is great. I'm about halfway through. I think I'm at the start of issue 3 for this one right now. Really digging the story. It's a little bit light.
Bebop and Rocksteady get married.
Yeah,
sorry,
definitely.
I mean to spoil it. That's what.
Come on.
Yeah, the big wedding scene. It was almost a red wedding. Yeah. But no, I'm really excited for this. They also, hopefully they don't borrow this element from God of War of like if there's any like environmental puzzle solving and stuff like that, because periodically throughout the story, like he'll kind of communicate with his dead siblings, like through like kind of talking to himself, kind of like through their memories and stuff.
Maybe if you freeze the guy,
exactly,
change the water pressure.
So I'm hoping they don't borrow that from God of War, because I know a lot of people, even the voice actor, just wasn't happy with that.
We have a video on our TikTok of Sonny, who plays Atreus, saying he was annoyed at himself playing the game
for giving himself advice.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's very well suited. There's appearances from other side characters in the Ninja Turtles in there, so like there's it's great for giving other people for this turtle to bounce off of.
I think also just having sort of, again, this one turtle has the other turtles sort of with him in spirit, and I think that's a really good excuse to have some sort of ambient dialogue. Instead of having Aloy being like, I sure should pick up more rocks to make arrows, I'm climbing something, like instead of just having that weird inner monologue. Like you have voices in your head, and it makes sense in terms of the actual story. The other thing is it takes place in like a weird futuristic cyberpunk version of New York City, which is handy because nobody's like, this isn't like New York City. You can get as video gamey as hell as you want with it. It's completely made up. It's totally fictionalized. And that's also, it's got that level of like, because it is this sort of alternate timeline version of what's happening with Turtles, you're not stuck with like, oh, they screwed it up. Yeah, April's not hot enough. Oh, it's just, someone will still say that, but
somebody will.
And also, it's like there's like Robot Foot Clan and like Baxter Stockman's weird Mouser variants, which is so video gamey to have them get like weird reinterpreted. Whereas it's like, I don't know, if you're trying to keep it grounded, it's like how many different sort of street level punks can they fight, and just how many mutants do you want to roll out?
I wonder how the like flashback scenes will go too. Will they go like really like bright and shiny New York, and all the turtles are just eating pizza all the time?
In the comic, the flashback stuff is actually drawn by Kevin East, whichever one did the art in the originals. But it's basically like the old school.
Oh, really? So like the slightly more gritty
it looks like full on Sin City, basically. Let me see if I can find a page here. But
yeah, and there's like different kinds of flashbacks that pop between different periods of time. So like there's like retelling, which is like in pure like black and white and stuff like that.
Oh, so they do black and white style.
So some page, and it's cool because it jumps between artists, but like the present day is all kind of similar stuff, and then there's actual flashbacks using kind of retro style stuff,
sick.
which would be kind of cool. Like I'd love to see sort of the Ghost of Tsushima effect there, where it do like the Kurosawa mode for all the flashbacks.
Yeah.
It's black and white, so it's the past. I don't know.
Well, they'll go back in like Turtles in Time style flashbacks.
Yeah. As for when this game is actually coming out, Doug Rosen said that they have found the right partner to adapt The Last Ronin into an ambitious AAA video game, which
6 years.
Exactly, yeah.
And on the PS6.
PS6.
I feel like the fact that because this was a businessman muttering it at GDC and not like a massive logo over a CG trailer.
Somewhere a guy who just signed a contract or is about to sign a contract went, oh God, what did he say?
No, this is like Bob Iger dropping the names of 6 new Star Wars movies. Like it's very much like, okay, well, so much for marketing, I guess.
Somebody told me about these, in my briefing. So I'm going to tell these to the world.
Yeah. No, I'm cautiously optimistic. I really hope that more companies take a cue from Insomniac Spider-Man and the Arkham series, and it's like, oh, maybe these things don't have to be licensed cash-ins. Maybe they can be full on, proper stories using beloved characters.